Hi everybody, I am back with another video, and in this video I wanted to talk about the Trump food box that I hear people on Facebook are talking about. I'm not on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook to that like that because I only deal with family, intermediate family that I actually deal with, because there's some family you gotta cut off, and other Facebook friends that I'm friends with. So I'm basically only friends with people that I know. So all of that stuff that coming to Facebook, I don't see it, and that's by design. As far as how my Facebook page is set up. But I have seen the food box, I guess the first part of last year, when they first started talking about the Trump box, Trump food box. And I watched several videos on YouTube of different ones that have gotten the Trump food box. As far as I know, no one in South Carolina has gotten the box, because I have several family members. Though I'm not on food stamp, I have several family members that are on food stamps. They get food stamp, such as nieces, cousins, not necessarily my cousins, but my sisters and children. A few of those get food stamp. I have one daughter that gets food stamp, and so that's how come I understand the situation with SNAP and the food stamp. And then I have a son that has a young daughter. She's 5 months old, not quite. She's almost 6 months. And her mother, I don't know if she gets food stamp, but I know she gets WIC, because she works. You know, she has a good job. She's always worked, so I don't know if she gets food stamp, but I know she gets the WIC. I haven't heard her say anything about food stamp. And then this is her first child, so. And so that's why I'm not seeing any food boxes or know of anyone that has a food box. So I did a research on YouTube, and I see the different ones that get the food box. I've seen two, I guess, grade of food, and I'm thinking it's probably according to zip code, because the first box I saw, I think the lady works, but she got a food box, and the food box that she got, the food was thrown in the little packets all kind of way. She opened up one and the food was hard and dry. I'm like, so I said, that's what they're giving people? You can tell the food was old. Like it's been sitting in a warehouse a while, and they just cleaning out the warehouse. I'm thinking like they did back when I was a child, and it was giving away all that free cheese. But we grew up on that free cheese and the stuff you get with that. And then as the years go by, when my kids came along, they was giving out little food boxes at the churches and the other artillery guard places and stuff like that. I didn't really get any. Tell the truth, I didn't get any of that food, because I would take my mom there and she would get the boxes. But when I did attempt to apply for, I guess because I qualified because I had young kids, they put you through certain processes, and I'm not feeling that. If it's free, you'll get it as free. So I ain't bothered with it because I'm not going through that. So my mom always got it. But I don't think they'll, I think they stopped giving it that way because my mom doesn't say anything about getting it lately. My mom is almost 80. So now the Trump food box. So I'm thinking this Trump food box may consist of the Meals on Wheels that my mother has been getting, that she gets. And she said she's tired of eating them and whatever because she's been getting them for years. And one thing I do know, when at the end of the month when the food stamp is out and you gotta wait that week or two, a week and a half or whatever for the stamps come back on, you buy more food, you eat that food even though you're tired of it because you get hungry, you won't eat it. Me, I'm not gonna eat it. I will find $1 from someplace, go in the store and buy me a banana or something. Cause I look at the food, my body just rejects food. Looking at certain food, my body just rejects it. It will not let me eat it. I have tried to eat certain things, and I would literally get nauseous trying to eat it. Because when you're hungry, you eat certain things. And this is not downgrade food that I'm talking about. It's just certain foods. Let's say if I go to a restaurant and I'm looking at the buffet, certain foods on the buffet, my body will reject it. I look at it and I go to get it, my body is saying, it's this overwhelming feeling that comes over me. And something ain't right about that. And if I go against that, I will regret it. So I've only regretted maybe a couple of times in my life. So now, if I don't feel right about food, I'm not going to eat it. And even if, like these restaurants, certain restaurants, I don't want to call the restaurant's name, but there are certain restaurants that black people love going to. Sometimes the food is okay, but for the most part, the food is downgrade. And when I go there, my body automatically knows when the food is more downgrade than the normal downgrade. And even though my husband goes there, his body don't sense the food the way I do. He don't see nothing wrong with it. He thinks it's okay. He want to go eat. So I'm sitting there, so I'm picking through all of your food to see what my body is going to allow me to eat without having to detox the food or something, find something to, flush that food out. And sometimes I might get a salad or I might find something. Sometimes I find one thing I eat, and I will eat a lot of that. But I have a couple of restaurants I go to that all of them tend to have the downgrade food, whether it's the inexpensive one, which it's not inexpensive, because this restaurant is very expensive. And the one that's a lot better, it's not as expensive. Sometimes the worst restaurants with the worst foods, the restaurants, I won't say the worst restaurants, sometimes restaurants with the worst foods aren't necessarily inexpensive, because this restaurant isn't inexpensive. It's like $16 for buffet. Whereas we go to this restaurant, the other restaurant, which is this restaurant is a Japanese restaurant. I won't give its name. Its food is downgrade also, and sometimes I feel the different foods, and it's like, so I feel out what I'm gonna eat. Sometimes I go get I guess that food they cook over there. You pick the vegetables and what you want, and they cook it up right there on the spot for you. Sometimes I get that, sometimes I'm not feeling it. But whatever I'm feeling, I will get that, and that's what I will eat. And this is a restaurant. One restaurant, my favorite restaurant is Red Lobster. Their food, I give it a B. I go there. Now the last time I went there, I don't know what was going on, but I could sense the food wasn't right. And then the girl, I don't know who would that rice they have. I like that rice they have. Why would you? My husband said she wastes the butter all. I told him why the rice was greasy. It just kept me. I said, why is the rice greasy? And he said she wastes the butter in the rice. I was wondering why. I just didn't get it. I guess this was during Christmas time, and these girls are supposed to get. You're supposed to give a feedback on them, and we had 3 people at our table. Now all this time the food is. I'm feeling the food is good, but when you got 3 people, one girl, the feedback they could do a drawing to see who get whatever prize they're supposed to get. And then you got another girl that coming and bringing the food, stumbling all over, talking, asking. I'm like, what is her problem? I didn't know what her problem was. So I tried not to focus on her because I tend to give serious attitude when service is jacked up. And then it was another girl. So they made the experience with the dinner annoying, but for some reason my mind wouldn't focus on that because I don't know. I guess I was thinking about other things because, I just want to have a nice time, nice dinner. That dinner, even though I did the feedback for her and I put her name on it and gave her a good feedback, but I let them know the food was overcooked, and I should have put in there that the girl was just awkward, knocking stuff over on the table, literally knocking stuff on the table, doing all of that. So I'm like, okay, what is her problem? So I just get the sense that she didn't want the girl who was supposed to get the drawing and do the feedback, so I gave a bad feedback on her. But I know how to, but I'm like, the girl was nice. It was the girl that was bringing the food that was the problem, but she wasn't the one that I was supposed to do the feedback on. So I didn't want to give the waitress a bad review because of the girl who brings the food out is causing all the problems. And then she kneeling down, talking to me. I'm like, I just didn't get it, cause I know when weirdness is going on, and I have a tendency to sense it and figure out what's going on doing it, but I don't want to deal with it at that time, because in restaurants, whatever negative is going on with me and I see it, my husband take it as I'm the problem. So I wasn't trying to have that because it makes no difference what the situation is. He's gonna take the other person's side, and I'm gonna be the one at fault, regardless of how I handle it. So I just wasn't gonna deal with it. I wanted to enjoy my food, but that rice got to the point where that grease was. I said, why is the rice greasy? He said, she wasted butter in the rice. I'm like, okay, all right. So I had to stop eating that rice because I don't do butter on food. Anyway, I tend to get off track, and that's all I said, how I deal with food. Now, to get back to the food box, the first little food box was just, it's like they went and get all the food that people don't want and throw in the trash. They pick through it and whatever, or that was in there forever, and put it in a box and give it to the lady. This lady actually opened the food or had a spoon and was hitting on some food that was in it. She was hitting on it, and it was hard, literally. But the other lady, her box looked pretty good. The one like my mama gets on her Meals on Wheel. Hers didn't look bad. Like, it didn't look like they got it out of the trash and out of the back where it was back there forever. Hers looked better. And then I said, what's the difference between her food and the other lady food? And I noticed it was based on zip code. This lady, I can tell the difference between the two houses based on um, a person who maybe work for minimum wage and they need government assistance to help to pay your bills based on where you live. And this lady living here, and her house shows that she maybe have had a better wage and she's getting Social Security. Because I think she's getting Social Security because her son was there helping her. And one thing I know about these elderly people, because my mom is one of them, we'll bring food in and feed you. She got 7 of us, or 7 of her kids. We're going to make sure she eat. But she wants that little $16 a month food stamp. So she can go and do whatever. My thing is, you don't need it. We gonna make sure you eat. We gonna cook, put in a pot for you. That's how we do. But she's living with my sister, and my sister is making sure that she eats and whatever. But she wants a little bit of food stamp. So I can see how, like you say, she gets $16 because it used to be 10 forever when my kids was young. She used to get like a little $10. I think they give them $16 now. And with that food stamp, she would I think it was $6 at one time. Then it went to 10, and now it's 16. And so they said I think that they could cut it in half or 25%. Gonna go to food, and another 75% you're gonna get in food stamps, and you can go to the store and get whatever food you want. I don't know how that's gonna work, but they say they're not gonna take all the food stamps. They're gonna take a portion of the food stamps away, and you're gonna get the food bucket, and then you're gonna have this amount. And I guess you go in the store and buy what you want, and then the other part of the card is the welfare cash part. So I can see how she may be getting a food box. But one thing I do know, if she got a food box look like that lady box I saw on that thing, first thing I would say, you need to put that in trash. Put that in trash. Because the meals on wheel don't look like the food that lady got. Sister, that lady food looked like it was throwaway food that people didn't want. And because it wasn't open or whatever, because some of the food was just thrown to the side. So this is what this lady got. And I don't remember her video, but I know she was saying that well, I ain't gonna say what she said, but it was profanity. But anyway, my thing is, why? I especially don't see single mothers like my daughter and my granddaughter's mother. I don't see them accepting a food box and eating from there. They might, when I don't feel like cooking, I throw this in there. Because, people eat that frozen food. I don't do that frozen food. Those little, they got the mashed potatoes and the little steak patties and all of that. I don't eat none of that. Back in the day, I have tried it when the kids are young, but they want that one. That's what they want, the stuff like that. I never liked that. So, but when they were younger, I would give each one of those. We did got food stamp when they were younger. When they were teenagers, we didn't get food stamp when they were teenagers. But when they were younger, like 10 and 12, I would give each 4 of them. I would give each one of them $10, and that's my way of teaching them how to budget. And they had to go in the store and get whatever they want, as long as it didn't go over $10. And if it went over $10, they had to take something out. I would pay for each one of them itself. and just based on what they wanted. And then when I bought the food, I always bought the healthy food. I never bought a bunch of junk food and and those little packets of frozen foods and all of that. I never bought that stuff for the kids. The kids always ate healthy. And I had the herbs. I had the herb drink so they didn't get sick. Even though the whole school had the flu one year, they didn't get sick because I'm a self-clean nutritionist since 95, 96, and I prepare food. I always prepared their food that way, so that's why they didn't get sick. And then I made sure they had their vitamins, the supplements, stuff like that when they was coming up. And they remember that. So when they get sick, they remember, well, Mama, you got this, you got that. I said, yeah. They come home and I'll fix up one of my herb teas, or it's no concoction that some people do. I just go in the health food store and I get the different types of herb teas. And you boil your water, put the tea in there, put the sugar in it, no sugar. That's how I did. So, with all that said, this Trump food box, I hear a lot of people are getting it. I haven't seen one. But then again, I'm not in that space where I would be getting a Trump food box because I'm not on food stamp. I'm not on welfare. I'm on disability because I'm disabled. And I don't get food stamp, and I didn't apply for food stamp. The lady said I qualify for food stamp and they could see by getting me on food stamp. I said, okay. I don't have no food stamp because I'm not going down there and applying for food stamp because I'm just not going down there and apply for food stamp. I'm like, okay. I didn't say anything because I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I don't want your food stamp. I don't want your food stamp. I'm not going to say anything. I said, okay. And then I'm not coming down there to apply because you got to go down there and apply for food stamp. So when my husband got fired from his job for a bunch of craziness, he got on unemployment for a little while, but we didn't even get food. We applied for food stamp during that time he was on unemployment. But we never really, I think we got it for like a month or two. And then he got another job. And he doing good. And immediately, I'm make sure I turn in all his receipts, stubs, and everything of what he making. And we no longer got food stamp. And I told them, I said, well, we won't be getting no more food stamp. And they looked at me like, Because that assistant is there to help you when you're transitioning in situations. It's not something you just stay on. And I hear what people saying that people stay on it for a while. They stay on it for years. They just abuse the system. But it's mostly single mothers that is on the food stamp with these babies. And with them trying to go to work and getting paid $7 and something an hour at McDonald's and taking care of babies, so they need that little food stamp to help. Thing about it is this. I can understand that situation because I was in that situation, but I wasn't in it very long because I got a job and then the assistant cuts off. And then I got married. And once I got married, my husband wanted me to stay home and make sure the kids are fine because our youngest son thought pulling snakes by the tail was a fun thing to do. And he's like 1 year old in the yard playing with snakes, pulling them by the tail and the snake trying to get away. And my other 3 kids, 2 girls and the oldest boy, they took off running in the house screaming, Daddy, Randolph has a snake, playing with the snake. He goes out there and he dragging the snake by the tail, snake trying to get away. He said, mm-mm. He worked at night and I worked during the day. What did he say? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. He said, you need to stay home and watch this child. He said, because I work at night and I need to sleep. And he said, I cannot keep an eye on him like that. So I hadn't worked since 92. Even though I became an entrepreneur, started my own home-based business, florist. I still have that business, but I got sick, really sick one day, sitting in there putting my flowers and arrangement and stuff together. Got so sick, and I got up and went into bed and lay down, and it just went on after that for 9 years. Now I'm doing better, but since then I can't just get up and go to work like that. I just can't get up and go. People say, you can get in a job, McDonald's job, you go do this or that. I went to college and got my computer technology degree. But, in that area, because that's what I want to do. And I'm not going to let somebody tell me that I'm not good enough to do whatever job that I feel that I'm good enough to do. Because I've been told that the only thing I'm good enough to do is work in a sewing plant as a seamstress sewing clothes. I ain't had no problem doing that job. But when I want to move up, there was a problem with me moving up. I said I move up, be a receptionist, get that experience. Oh no. Mm-mm. So that wasn't good enough. This is the only job they wanted to give me, and I wasn't going back in no plant. Because of my severe scoliosis, that posed a problem. So that's why I was moving away from that. But ever since I tried that, I haven't been able to find a job in any office, and I put in hundreds of resumes and applications all over my little town that I live in. And it only take them 2 seconds to decide that we're not doing any hiring or this and this and that. I know the look, I know the feel, I know what it is, and I'm like, I didn't understand it back then, but I understand it now. But that's a whole nother spiritual conversation. That I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. But it's bad when you putting in out there busting your butt for 5 years trying to get a job after the kids become teenagers, and every single day this is what you're getting. I literally got nauseous. I said, oh God, I'm done. So I kept putting in, and then while I'm doing all of that, I said I do my own florist business, I just settled with that. I did okay with that. Kids were in school, I was always there to get in trouble in school, teenagers, I'm there. Then I got sick and couldn't do that no more, so now this is where I am. But I just tell you that's just a little side story I'll tell about myself. But with this food box, I have a perspective on it, but I don't like giving a perspective on something unless I have a full understanding of this food box. Because a lot of people have ideas on the food box that a lot of people got a viewpoint on why they think these people are getting these food box. Now what they're saying, a lot of stuff saying I agree with, because with the food boxes that I have seen, let's say elderly people that are sick and on certain diets and like my husband, he's diabetic and he got to eat certain foods. If he wants to get a food box, he's only going to get sicker and sicker and sicker and just die. If he eat this food box, I see, because there's nothing healthy about this food. But we see a nutritionist to help them get on board, because I'm a self-made nutritionist. I've been preparing healthy foods ever since I think we got married in 91, and in 96, I think it was 96, also in 5. 96, I got the Back to Eden book, and I learned about the healthy way of eating. You know how getting back to nature. So I clean all this processed food out of the house and start preparing foods. You know, they were mad at me at first, but they learned to appreciate over the years when they saw how healthier they were and they didn't get sick. Like everybody around them were getting sick with the flu. Now they did got the chicken pox, but you know how the chicken pox, I healed them all from the chicken pox. I did like if one got the chicken pox, once that one was good, okay, then the other one got the chicken pox, and that one okay. Those two done gone back to school. Then third one, she got the chicken pox. It took her a while. She fitching took her a while, but I was sitting home reading a book, just putting up, just reading the book and seeing what kind of herb will help with the fever and her chicken pox. And every time she wake up, I would give her some of the herb tea, just regular tea bag, a little sugar, and give her the tea. She drank the tea, and I would give her the Tylenol, for the fever, and she would go back to sleep. In 3 days of doing that, I finally found a tea that broke that fever. And next thing I know, I'm thinking she laying down. I feel somebody come tapping me. I look up. She looking at me. Fever was broke. She went back to school the next day. Then the youngest, the fourth one, he got the fever. He got chicken pox. I gave it to him. Boom, he back to school. The oldest one, he got the chicken pox when he was like 2 months old from his cousins on his daddy's side. She did not tell me the kids had chicken pox when we went to visit. She said they was just getting over the chicken pox. And I looked at her. Now, we done been here 2 or 3 days and you just not saying this. So when he got home, he had chicken pox. And that the first time I had to deal with that. So I took him to the doctor. The doctor said, you basically just go through it. And so I took care of him, and he went through it. And then he was okay after that. So when the last 3 got the chicken pox, he didn't get it because he already had it. So with all that said, all of that is connecting to with me, all that is connecting to the food box. How as a nutritionist, how this food box is going to directly affect already sick people. Like the elderly ones that have what I call lifestyle diseases, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, all of these different diseases that if you know how to eat right, know how to prepare your food properly, and just pick the food that are, because a lot of food got all this pesticide and everything in it. So you have to be fully mindful of what you're getting. You just have to know how to pick the food to prepare healthy meals. And I can see the food boxes not being beneficial for these elderly people, for these maybe disabled children, ailing children, all these ailing people. All of us are ailing, but not all of us are ailing as some. Like me, I don't have lifestyle diseases. Like over the years when I was sick, and I got down sick with MS, I think when it hit me back in 2008, just out of nowhere, I was just overwhelmed with blindness and vertigo to the point of just no return. And there was no one I could talk to because they would have thought I was just putting on, and nobody even paid me any attention while I suffered from 2008 to 2013 until going to doctors, and they're just looking at me like, oh, we don't know what's wrong, or everything is fine. The test shows everything is good. It's showing nothing is wrong. I'm like, I'm falling apart. Literally falling apart. Falling on the ground. Passing out. can't walk, but everything is fine. But the last time I was at a spiritual meeting and I fell because nobody was paying me any attention now. So people looks at me like, people, I don't know what people are thinking when they see me. But this guy just looks at me and just walk on by, brush me, and I just went falling on the floor in a crowd of hundreds of people. And I'm falling on this one lady, and I'm just falling, doing everything I can to grab. I'm always grabbing or whatever so I don't break bones, because I fall several times. But I have a tendency, I'm aware I'm falling, and then I'm doing different things not to break bones. So I'm falling, I'm looking at this lady, falling on this lady. I'm trying not to grab her because I've had people to get irritated. Why are you grabbing me? Why are you holding on to me? I'm trying not to fall. But anyway, this lady said, "Are you falling?" And I'm looking at her, and then I just go and hit the floor. And then everybody picking me up. Like, oh, she fell. They picking me up, helping me up. And the guy that knocks me down, he's an older guy, look like he's in his 70s. Pretty healthy, strong looking guy. Looking at me like I'm crazy. Yeah, you're a very rude man. You just knocked me down. Didn't care. So took me to the little nursing area they had there. My blood pressure was a little high, which is usually, it was being around 135, 145. But when it got up to almost 200, that's when the guy was a registered nurse. He told my husband, he said, if this is happening, she's deteriorating, and you need to find her a doctor. Because I was going to a doctor. I had to stop going to them. They was trying to give me all kind of cancer and leukemia and cervical cancer and trying to give me everything a thing. I'm an avid. You tell me I got something, I'm going to go online, and I better have some symptoms. I had no symptoms whatsoever of cervical cancer. No symptom whatsoever of leukemia, except that my blood had dropped down, had dropped real low. My blood count itself had dropped so low, and then my body was fighting an infection, whatever that was, all of that. But once that I believed it was no cancer. I said, no, find something else. So they had already told me, so that when the lady eventually told me about the MS, and she called me into a room. She's just like she was a doctor in there. And she said, this is what the problem is. She said, they're not going to tell you this is what your problem is. So she told me I had MS. And then she went and checked with the doctor who wouldn't tell me what wrong, wouldn't diagnose, and stuck an opinion in him, and he agreed with her. And she said that he agreed with me. So the only thing I had to do, so I took that, and I started doing my research and working with that. And while I'm trying to figure that out, doing my nutritious, I got a website on WordPress, Healthy Eating Lifestyle, where I got different foods I was putting together and researching all kind of ideas that while I'm helping myself, I can also help somebody else who may be going through it. And so so I did all of that, 2013, from that time she told me, I think it was back in 2010 or 9 when she told me that. And then up until 2000, dealing with that up until 2013, when it got to that point, and my husband had a doctor that he was dealing with, and he don't deal with husband and wives. So, and then he said, he said he only deal with what he was dealing with what my husband had, diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, all of that. That's what he deals with. But he said he didn't deal with internal issues, which is what he said I had. So he introduced me to one of his doctors who is his friend. And I set an appointment over there. And that's the doctor I'm still with ever since then. And I was going to the doctor every 2 weeks until he found out what was wrong. And after a couple of months, he went and diagnosed me with, I had to get medicine to slow my heart down because I was having issue with the breathing and the shortness of breath. And literally, my husband said, I would just stop breathing altogether. And he would have to hit me and knock me awake. That would irritate me to death. And he said, you're not breathing. And I think that's something that happened this morning, because I was just laying here in the bed and I was listening to the YouTube video. And usually I listen to the video. I forgot who I was listening to. I think I was listening to Afro Synergy. And all of a sudden, I felt myself go, the breath come out of me. And the breath, I actually feel the wind of the breath coming out of me. Then I jumped away and I looked around. It felt like the breath came out of my heart, and it just like that. And I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, I didn't know. When I looked and I saw Afro Synergy, that video had finished. I'm laying here and I'm just looking, and I felt better than I was before I lay down, because I was a little tired because I had to get up in the morning and take my husband to work. He had to be to work 6 o'clock. So I'm having to get up, take him to work since he done wrecked his car and total lost the car. This man hit the car. We still going through that. So having to take him to work. And my body gets tired because of the MS, you know. I get tired, and the morning is not a good thing for me. So I'm not feeling as sick as I used to be. When I get up in the morning, I literally can't go. Literally can't get out of bed. But I had to drag myself out, and it would just be overwhelmingly stressful. It wasn't to that point today. But I was tired. I was just a little tired. You know, I can deal with tired. I lay down. And then this happens. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, what is this? I don't know. So I felt, well, okay, I'm supposed to start breathing again. And the angels, well, you're back. You're not going anywhere. We need you here. So, and then when I got clear, because I woke up like at 4:44. Not 4. I woke up like 4:14. 4:14 has been following me for the last 3 days. I've been seeing 4:14. So I already looked up to see what 4:14 means. And 4:14, I know 1 is new beginnings, and 4 is creativity. So with that being so, there are new things happening with me, because like these YouTube videos that I'm finally getting into it and getting to the place where, you know, I'm doing the videos. I'm still figuring it out, but now I'm doing these videos and I'm speaking more, you know, trying to get used to the speaking into the video. And so that's the creativity part, and the new beginnings part. I'm doing these new beginnings with the YouTube. I've been at it a year now. November last year would have been a year since I started being a creator. And one of the creators, my very first subscriber was Successful Lady Live. She subscribed to me, I think in November of 2017, when she was revamping her channel and all of that. And she was subscribing to everybody who was her subscriber at that time, and I was one, and I had no subscribers, and she said she was subscribing to everybody who was a subscriber to her. I said, well, you didn't subscribe to me. And she looked. She said, you have no videos. Because my grandson had already told me that, because he's 10 now. He was like 8 then. He's 10 now. And he said, well, Grandma, you have no videos. And he tried to subscribe to me, but for some reason he couldn't. Then I couldn't figure out how to get the videos on it. So when Successful Lady Live said that, she said, you put one video and I'll subscribe to you. So that's what I did. I went on there and I started a video of my granddaughter skating. I think she's 5 now. I think she's 7 now, so she was 5 then. And my daughter took all the little kids out there, and my daughter told her to go out there and get in the contest. Nah, she don't want to. Nah, she don't want to. So she said, baby, she said, this is an easy win for you. She said, all the kids are your age or your size. She said, but you can skate better. She said, you can skate, even though she don't skate that. She's not that good at skating. It's new for her, but she did skate it better than them, because she was to the point where she wasn't falling. And she was a little faster because she'd been practicing a little while, and then she had on the skates my daughter bought her, the little kiddie skates her daughter bought her. But Now I think she said they don't let you use your own skates no more, something like that. But anyway, I videotaped the skating contest, and she standing in line. All of these kids, and I mean, it's boys and girls. Some bigger than her. Old, I think was an age range. Some was older and bigger than her. She was like 5. I think some were like 6. They were all beginner skates. Couldn't really skate that well. And I mean, she was wide open, just passing all the kids. I mean, some bigger than her falling. Some got the little thing where they help you to go through, and I mean, some of them. I mean, it was hilarious. And she's smaller than these kids, and she just going around the thing. She won. Get the ice cream with the sparkles on it, and give it to my daughter because she didn't want the ice cream. She just getting in it because my daughter tell her it's an easy win, and wanted her to go out there and win. She just went out there and win it. They got the thing, and she didn't want the ice cream. She just won. I think I ate the ice cream, and that's the videotape that I did, and I shared that videotape. That was the first video. For some reason, it just automatically I could have put it on there, and I put the video on there, and then. And Sister Later Lies, she saw the video. She said, "Oh, I love skating. I love skating." And she was my very first subscriber. Now, since then, I'm at 103. And from November 17th, 2017, to November 2018, I was 90 something subscribers. And I just hit, it's January, so I just hit 100 subscribers, I think a week ago. So it took me a whole year to get up to 100 subscribers. A whole year or more, a week or so like that. But anyway, and now this is where I am. So, with all of that said, back to the beginning when about the Trump food box. My suggestion with the Trump food box is, if you don't want to eat, especially the box I saw with this one lady, you don't have to eat the food just because they're giving it to you. You still got it. If I understand, you still gonna have some food stamp. You just have to use your intuition, because that's what I use, my intuition. Use your intuition of knowing, because your body knows what's good for you. And wisely, buy what food you have with the little bit of money you have. That's why I brought the fact that my kids had to get $10, and they had to get whatever they want. But if they went over that $10, they had to put something back. And so now they, that's how I taught them to budget money. And my mother, she was real good at, she had that $6. She would get whatever she want within that $6. And then, my sister would be in there, we would bring her food and whatever she, like the rice or whatever, we would bring her food or whatever she wanted. So with that $6, she basically got what she wanted from that, and then it went to 10 down to that 16. So I can't imagine how much food that they're going to get when they do the food box part. But my thing is, people don't have to eat the food. You got families. The black community is a survivor. They've been surviving since they've been coming to this earth. The black community has been surviving. So, if the food is not right, who say you gotta eat it? You don't have to be forced to eat it. Now, there are family members that are just not taking care of family. Everybody's thinking on an individual basis how to take care of themselves. But I feel that the black community is coming together now, and they're going to realize we got to come together and help each other, because all that stuff going on out there is not helping us. And it's not just the black community that is going to be getting these food boxes. I don't think. You got, I hear they say there's more Caucasian people on food stamps than there are black people. So they're going to be getting food boxes. I'm hearing these illegal immigrants that are coming over here, they start out on the food stamp and all Medicaid and all of that. They're going to be getting food boxes. Then you got, so when they come over here, that's how they get it. Cause I remember like yesterday in the 70s when the Hispanics, the Mexicans, cause they're the only ones I remember, the Hispanic Mexicans, these Latinos and Puerto Ricans, and then you had these other people. Those are other groups of people, but my experience is directly with Hispanic Mexicans. When they came over here, they all got on food stamps. They got on all the government assistance that black people always been getting. I know this for a fact because I have a sister that's been working with them for 30 years. That's what she does. That's what her job is, to help these people. Wow, and I'm watching all of this, and then I'm going down there and I'm seeing where all of the funds are being transferred from the black community to the illegal immigrant community. Based on my experiences, the Hispanic and Mexican, that's where the government assistance is gone. And now these people, they have jobs now and whatever, and now you have a whole new group of, they're not Hispanic people, but they call them Hondurans or Spanish speaking people. Not sure. People like to say, people like to be the regular Spanish is not, or this Spanish, like, I don't care. But the Hispanic people, then you got the Latino people. I guess Latino people is mostly in New York, because how Cardi B was talking about her situation with being on the food stamps and all of that, and she said people don't use whatever, right? I'm not familiar with the Latinos, but I'm directly familiar with Hispanics. And I know how they operate. And the Hondurans is a whole new set of people. Now, a whole new set of people that's coming over here the way the Hispanics came over here. Now, Latinos, I'm not sure how they come over here. They may have come over here by plane, the way I think the West Indians got here, and other groups of people that I never see because they live in Caucasian neighborhoods, or they live in their own Caucasian type neighborhood. And for what I heard in the inner cities, they move into the projects, and then they move into these Section 8 housing and whatever, and they're there, and blacks are being killed and murdered if they come into. So, and I think they said Los Angeles, California, the majority of the black population that's still in California, they are living in shelters, living on the street in tents. They're basically homeless on a certain part of town, and they go into the area where these cultural people there. I don't know if they're Latinos or what. But anyway, I'm hearing a lot of stuff about that. But I only know my neck of the woods, and I don't know. I know I'm not absolutely sure where they live. I know where some live, but they basically live like we live. But because I was never on housing authority or got assistance like that, I'm really not familiar for where they live. But from dealing with my sister, they basically live in houses like how we grew up in. And and they all like 5 families in one group, and they build up, living good. I guess They basically live like I live. I own my property. Got down there and make sure them taxes been paid. Ain't got time for that. Make sure taxes paid. And they basically live like that. So I don't know all of that other stuff that is going on. I want to know my neck of the woods. And I do know that that government assistance that was basically given to the black community was shifted to the Hispanic Mexican community. I saw that with my own eyes. So that's that I know. So, but anyway, we're saying all of that. Back to the food box again. I'm not sure. My thing is, if you're getting the food boxes and you don't like it, just don't eat it. Families come together, just like the Hispanic come together and take care of their community. Blacks come together and take care of their community. And I think this is an eye-opening thing. And that's why I'm saying, like, the shutdown, government shutdown is a good thing in a way that is forcing the black community to come together and take care of their own. Like I say, my immediate family is 6. My husband, my 4 children, myself, and it's more than that. And then there's like 6 grandkids. So my immediate household is 12. And even though they all moved away and not living here except for my one son, he's like back and forth, still trying to get his footings. We're going to make sure that we eat, that we taken care of. Because that's our responsibility. So that's what families need to do. Whoever is the head of the family, if you got a mother and a father, then that's the head and you're going to take care of that family. If you don't have a mother and a father, you just got a father maybe, or you just got a mother like these single mothers, somebody who has a job and is doing well needs to help that single mother. So she is not out here dependent on these men that are not taking care of their children and making these videos about Section 8 is cut off, food stamp cut off, what you could do now, da-da-da-da this, da-da-da-da that. All of this stuff, this negative stuff about the food stamp and the Section 8 and all of that. So I don't see the single mothers having that. What I do see before the Section 8 go, it's not the women that's going to suffer. It's the men that live off these women. And these single mothers that are working and working hard at these different places, making that low wage wage. The only way they can survive is to be on Section 8 and to get the food stamp and all of that. 'Cause otherwise, there's no way that they can have a household. So that's where parents like me come in. Like this one girl I saw at the tax office. Her aunt, I don't know if she have any kids or not, but her aunt was there, and you can tell she had a really good job, and now she's elderly, she needs help. And her niece comes in, making sure her aunt taxes are paid. Take her aunt to the tax place, and the lady that was there, working there, she was talking to the lady, and I could have feel the concern in the lady's face, because she was just looking at her with that sympathy look. And the lady was talking, yeah, my niece come, and she helping me, she do so good. Yeah, I just was billed. I said, well, she got to call her. And she said, I got to pay this bill. I got to pay that bill. Her niece comes on, make sure it's taken care of. That is what we need to be doing. The elderly that can't, whether it's a child, and a lot of children are not taking care of their parents. Sometimes it's got to be a niece to come in, or it's got to be a nephew, or a son, or a cousin. Whoever, it doesn't matter. Take care of your elderly family. Take care of the single mothers that's doing the best they can. It's not that you got to pay their bills, because a lot of them working. They're working. So all they need is that support, that help. So that's all I'm saying about with all that in connection with this food box and the shutdown. But anyway, that's all I have to say about this for now. And I see it's been, I'm only going to do an hour, and it's been an hour. So I will be back with another video. So give the video a thumbs up if you like my perspective on the food box. If you want to hear more from my perspective on different topics, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with another video. Bye.